5 Calming Pre-Sleep Habits to Embrace for a Peaceful Mind. Buddhist inspired wisdom. Picture this. The world outside has grown quiet. The chaos of the day fades into the distance and the comfort of your bed beckons. You close your eyes, hoping for the deep rest you so desperately need. But then, as you wake in the morning, something feels off. There's a heaviness lingering inside, a sense of unease that seems to have followed you into the morning light. You haven't had a nightmare, you haven't heard a loud noise in the night, and yet something doesn't feel right. Have you ever asked yourself, why do I feel this way after a seemingly peaceful night's sleep? What if the key isn't about what happened during the night, but rather how you entered it? This video isn't just about sleep. It's about how we can transform our rest into something sacred. Sleep, as we often think of it, is merely the end of our day, a pause, a break. But what if it's more than that? What if sleep is a passage, a spiritual return that shapes our very inner world? Just like a monk reverently approaches meditation, we too must approach sleep with the same mindfulness and intention. Especially as we age, sleep becomes much more than just retreating into rest. It becomes a sacred return to stillness, to the quiet within where true healing can occur. Stick with me throughout this video because I'll be sharing a wealth of insight, practical, transformative tools that will completely shift how you experience rest. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and don't skip ahead. This video is packed with invaluable information that could change the way you sleep and the way you live. Watch until the end to fully grasp how these rituals can create a deeper, more meaningful connection to sleep and ultimately to a more peaceful, balanced life. Habit 1. The burdens we carry into sleep. In the rush of our daily lives, it's easy to forget the importance of checking in with ourselves before we rest. We live in a world that constantly demands more from us. Work, responsibilities, family commitments, and the endless stream of information that bombards us each day. We go through our routines, ticking off tasks, crossing off to-do lists, until the moment comes to lay down at night. But how many of us go to bed physically exhausted, only to find our minds still buzzing, heavy with unresolved thoughts and emotions? It's in these moments, just before we close our eyes, that we realize how much we've carried with us. Unspoken words, unfinished conversations, regrets, and worries that haven't been given the space to release. This mental and emotional weight, though invisible, is incredibly powerful. The Buddha taught us that the mind is everything. What we think, we become. Yet, how often do we go to sleep with the unresolved residues of the day still clinging to our hearts and minds? As we lay in bed, the mind doesn't rest. Instead, it replays the same old narratives, like a broken record, looping over and over, refusing to let go. We may think we're sleeping, but in reality, our minds remain active, entangled in thoughts, caught in the past, or anxious about the future. It's as though we're carrying a heavy mental suitcase with us every night, never unpacking it, never setting it down. I recall a story from a Buddhist retreat I attended many years ago, where a teacher spoke about the concept of mental luggage. He said that throughout the day we collect mental impressions, vasana as it's known in Buddhist philosophy. These are the subtle marks left by experiences, thoughts, and emotions, and they build up over time, like the accumulated dust of our minds. If we don't consciously release them before sleep, they begin to weigh us down, especially as the days go by. One evening, after hearing the teacher's words, I decided to put this idea into practice. Before bed, I would sit in silence and reflect on my day, acknowledging everything that was still lingering in my mind. I imagined each worry, regret, and unspoken thought as a small object, an image, a memory, a feeling. I visualized placing these into a basket, gently releasing them into the quiet of the night. There, in the stillness, I allowed myself to be free from the burdens I'd carried throughout the day. The effect was profound. For the first time in years, I woke up the next morning not only feeling physically rested, but emotionally refreshed. I realized that my mind had been given the space it needed to unwind, to heal, to truly rest. It was not just my body that had slept. My spirit had found peace. The mental luggage I had carried for so long had been gently unpacked, and I woke up feeling lighter and more at ease. This practice became a nightly ritual for me, one that I continue to this day. It reminds me that sleep is not just a physical pause, but an opportunity to release everything that weighs on our minds. It is in this release that we find true rest. This practice brings me back to the core of Buddhist teachings on Vasana, the residual impressions of our past actions, thoughts, and emotions. In Buddhist philosophy, Vasana refers to the unconscious traces we carry from our experiences, whether positive or negative. These traces are like seeds that are planted deep within us, and they continue to grow in our subconscious mind. They affect how we see the world, how we interact with others, and even how we experience peace or the lack thereof. The accumulation of these impressions shapes our relationships, our health, and our overall peace of mind. But here's the catch. We often remain unaware of these lingering impressions, and because of this, they silently affect us. Just like when we carry a heavy backpack throughout the day and forget we're even wearing it. These mental residues accumulate unnoticed, adding weight to our emotional state and mental well-being. One of the most insightful lessons I've learned through Buddhist teachings is the realization that what we carry in our minds before we sleep is far more important than what happens while we sleep. Our sleep, in its truest sense, becomes a mirror that reflects whatever we have left unresolved. If we go to bed with a mind full of regret, anger, or anxiety, we wake up with those same emotions lingering in our hearts. This is why many of us wake up feeling unsettled, as though we've never truly rested. It's not because we didn't sleep long enough, but because we never gave ourselves permission to let go. So, how do we begin to release this weight? How can we find peace in the silence of sleep and wake up truly rested? The first step, I believe, is becoming aware of what we're carrying into the night. Take a moment each evening to reflect on your day. What thoughts are still lingering in your mind? What emotions are you holding on to? What unspoken words or unresolved situations are silently taking up space in your heart? The Buddha once taught that the mind is like a garden, and the seeds we plant will grow into the experiences we have in life. If we plant seeds of anger, regret, or fear, those are the experiences that will bloom. But if we plant seeds of compassion, mindfulness, and forgiveness, our lives will be shaped by peace and joy. The act of letting go before sleep is like clearing the weeds from your garden so that you can plant seeds of love and compassion. An example of this might be when you've had a difficult conversation with a loved one during the day. You lie in bed, replaying the conversation in your mind, thinking of all the things you should have said, or wishing you could take back something you said in anger. Instead of letting that conversation consume you, try to release it. Sit quietly and imagine placing those words into a basket, gently setting it aside. Allow your heart to forgive not only the other person but also yourself. As you do this, feel the weight in your chest lighten. The mind no longer has to carry this unresolved emotion. You freed yourself. In Buddhist practice, meditation is a powerful tool for releasing these mental burdens. Before sleep, take a few moments to sit in meditation, focusing on your breath and letting go of everything else. As you inhale, breathe in peace. As you exhale, release all that no longer serves you. With each breath, feel your body and mind becoming lighter, more at ease. It's in this gentle practice of releasing, moment by moment, that we truly prepare ourselves for rest. Letting go is often the hardest thing to do, especially when we've been holding on to something for so long. But here's the beauty of Buddhist wisdom. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means freedom. It means acknowledging the weight we carry and then choosing not to let it define us. It means recognizing that we are more than our past mistakes, more than our regrets, and more than the burdens of yesterday. When we let go, we are not denying our emotions or pretending they don't exist. Instead, we are giving ourselves permission to release their grip on us. We are choosing peace over conflict, stillness over restlessness. We are allowing our minds and hearts to rest, so that we can wake up the next day with clarity, energy, and a renewed sense of peace. When we let go of the mental burdens we carry, we create space for rest and healing. Sleep becomes more than just a break from the day. It becomes a sacred time for spiritual renewal, a time for the mind to release its weight and find true peace. The Buddha's teachings remind us that it's not just about physical rest. It's about mental and emotional renewal. Sleep, approached with mindfulness and awareness, can be the most healing practice we engage in each day. As you lay down tonight, I encourage you to reflect on what you're carrying into the night. Gently let go of the burdens, the regrets, the unresolved emotions. Release them into the stillness of the night, knowing that tomorrow is a new day, a new opportunity to plant seeds of peace, love, and wisdom in your heart. May your sleep be deep, restorative, and filled with the peace that comes from letting go. Habit 2. The importance of letting go, restoring balance before sleep. As we age, we often notice that it's not just physical tiredness that prevents us from sleeping soundly. It's the weight of the emotional and mental burdens we carry. The unresolved thoughts, unspoken words, and unmet expectations from the day can become a heavy load, one that our bodies can't shake off, no matter how tired we may feel. In the quiet of the night, these unresolved feelings can create a restless mind, making it difficult to find true peace in sleep. For those of us who have lived many years, this is a reality we must face. Our emotional baggage doesn't just disappear when the lights go out. In Buddhist teachings, the practice of letting go is not merely about dropping physical things. It's about releasing the mental and emotional weight that we often carry unconsciously. Letting go before sleep is a gift we give to ourselves, an act of self-compassion that allows us to truly rest. It's not just about sinking into the comfort of our beds. It's about preparing our minds and spirits to be at ease, to free ourselves from the day's worries and weight. This concept of letting go is deeply embedded in the Buddhist path. When monks and nuns approach the end of their day, they don't simply rush into rest. They understand that true sleep, the kind that restores the soul, requires intention and awareness. The evening is seen as a time for reflection, for winding down gently, and for creating space for the body and mind to relax fully. It is a time for purification, both mentally and physically. Even in something as simple as the food we eat, the Buddha taught us moderation. He spoke often about the importance of consuming food mindfully and not allowing the body to become overburdened. A heavy meal late in the evening can weigh down the body and disturb the flow of energy, making it difficult for the body to enter a true state of relaxation. Imagine asking a craftsman to finish a delicate task and then asking him to rest with the tools still in his hands. That's what we do when we eat too late, too much, or too hurriedly, and then expect our bodies to immediately rest. The body hasn't had time to process or settle. It's still hard at work, even when we lay down to sleep. In the Buddhist monastic tradition, evening meals are light and consumed well before dusk. This practice is not based on strict rules for the sake of discipline, but stems from compassion for the body's natural processes. By allowing time between our last meal and sleep, we give our bodies the chance to finish their work before we lay down for rest. We honor the body's wisdom, giving it the space it needs to digest and process without feeling rushed or overburdened. I once had a friend, a retiree in her late 60s, who shared her struggles with sleep. She had difficulty falling asleep and often woke up feeling bloated and uncomfortable. It wasn't until she learned to pay closer attention to her evening meals that her sleep began to improve. She started eating smaller, lighter meals earlier in the evening and allowed herself time to digest before going to bed. The change wasn't immediate, but over time, she began to notice a shift. Her sleep became deeper, her body felt more at ease, and her mornings no longer started with the heaviness of digestion. This simple, mindful adjustment not only improved her physical health, but also allowed her to rest in peace, free from the discomfort of indigestion. The practice of mindful eating is central to Buddhist teachings, and it's a practice that can have a profound impact on our ability to rest at night. The Buddha encouraged us to approach everything in life, including eating, with awareness and gratitude. When we eat mindfully, we give ourselves the opportunity to honor the nourishment we receive, acknowledging the food, the people who prepared it, and the earth that provided it. By eating with intention, we slow down and allow the body to process the food properly, without rushing or overindulging. In my own life, I've found that the way I eat directly impacts the way I sleep. There was a period when I was eating late and often eating large portions, especially after stressful days. My mind felt busy and my body felt sluggish. The result, a restless night and the inability to truly unwind. Once I adopted the habit of eating earlier, with smaller portions, and focusing on the taste and the nourishment, I noticed a significant difference. Not only did my digestion improve, but I also found that my mind was calmer and less cluttered by thoughts of overindulgence or discomfort. I was more at peace when I laid down to sleep. For those of us in the later stages of life, mindful eating can be an especially powerful tool. Our bodies may not process food the way they used to, and we may need to be more conscious of what we consume and when. Eating with mindfulness and moderation gives the body the opportunity to function optimally and ensures that we are not carrying excess weight, physically or emotionally, into the night. At the heart of Buddhist teachings is the idea of balance, finding harmony between body, mind, and spirit. This balance is not something that is found by simply checking off tasks or getting through the day. True balance is found by cultivating awareness, by being present with what is, and by letting go of what we no longer need to carry. This is the heart of Buddhist mindfulness, living with awareness and intention in each moment, even as we prepare to sleep. Sleep is not a passive activity. It is not simply an end to the day. It is a sacred opportunity to reset, to restore balance, and to release the accumulated weight of the day. When we approach sleep with reverence as a time for emotional and spiritual renewal, we honor the body's natural need for rest and the mind's need for release. Just as we cleanse our bodies, we cleanse our minds, allowing us to sleep deeply and wake up feeling restored, not just physically but emotionally and spiritually as well. There's a beautiful Zen story that illustrates this point. A young monk, after a long day of work, approached his teacher and said, "Master, I am so tired. I feel as if I can't carry on. My mind is weary, and my body is heavy." The teacher, seeing the monk's exhaustion, gently replied, "When you feel weary, it is not just the body that needs rest. It is the mind, the spirit, and the emotions that need to release their burdens. When you sleep, allow yourself to let go of the weight of the day. When you wake, do so with a light heart, free from yesterday's baggage." The message was clear. Sleep is not merely the end of the day, but a continuation of our practice of letting go and releasing that which no longer serves us. When we approach sleep with this perspective, we allow ourselves to rest deeply, in harmony with the body, the mind, and the spirit. As we grow older, it becomes all the more important to cultivate practices that help us release the burdens of the day, allowing ourselves to rest deeply and peacefully. Letting go before sleep is a gift we give to ourselves, a gift that allows us to rest with clarity, with gratitude, and with the intention to start the next day anew. It's not just about getting good rest. It's about preparing ourselves for a fresh start, free from the weight of yesterday. By practicing moderation in our eating, letting go of mental clutter, and allowing the body to finish its natural processes, we create the conditions for deep, restorative sleep. And when we wake, we do so with a mind that is clear, a body that is rested, and a spirit that is renewed. As we approach our beds tonight, let us remember the teachings of the Buddha, to let go, to rest, and to awaken with a light heart, free from the burdens of the day. Habit 3. The role of water in the ritual of release. Water, in its purest form, holds deep significance across many spiritual traditions. It is the embodiment of cleansing, purification, and renewal. In Buddhism, water is not just something we drink or wash with, it's a medium for spiritual transformation. It cleanses not only the body but the mind and spirit. Every droplet has the potential to wash away layers of accumulated tension, worry, and stress, leaving us feeling lighter and more aligned with the present moment. Imagine this. After a long day, we often head into the bathroom to wash away the dirt and grime of the physical world. But how often do we consider what the water can do for our emotional and spiritual state? In the Buddhist tradition, taking a warm shower or bath before bed is seen as much more than a hygienic act. It's a sacred ritual of release. As the water flows over your skin, it acts as a gentle reminder that everything from the day, the worries, the mental clutter, the emotional weight, we can let it all go. The act of washing away the day's dirt is a symbol, not just of cleanliness, but of letting go of everything that no longer serves us. When we stand under the shower, we're not just cleansing our bodies, we're offering our spirits a moment to breathe, to release. Each droplet that touches our skin is a whisper from the universe, reminding us that we don't need to carry the burdens of the day into the night. We can surrender them to the water, allow the current to carry them away. And with this act, we make space for something much more profound to emerge: peace. One of the most powerful stories that embodies the role of water in purification comes from Zen Buddhism. It's a simple yet profound tale about a disciple who was struggling with restless thoughts. He had spent days, weeks even, plagued by worry, regret, and tension. Every time he tried to meditate, his mind would wander. His thoughts were like heavy clouds that refused to part. Seeking relief, he turned to his master for guidance. The teacher, sensing the disciple's turmoil, led him to a river. Without a word, the teacher instructed the disciple to step into the flowing water. The disciple hesitated at first, unsure of what he was meant to do, but eventually he stepped in. The cold water flowed around him, cool and refreshing. He stood there in silence, letting the river wash over him. At that moment, something profound happened. The disciple felt his tension begin to dissolve, like sand slipping through his fingers. His shoulders relaxed. His breath deepened. His thoughts, which had once felt like an unending storm, began to calm. The teacher, watching this transformation, gently asked, "Where did your thoughts go?" The disciple, now at peace, replied, "I don't know. They dissolved." This Zen story encapsulates the profound power that water holds in our lives. It's not just a physical substance. It's a reminder that we are intrinsically connected to the elements. When we allow water to touch us, it doesn't merely cleanse our bodies. It resonates with our deeper being, washing away that which no longer serves us. Water is not just about cleanliness. It's about purification on a much deeper level. In the same way the body sheds its dirt and sweat after a long day, so too can we shed the weight of emotional baggage, unresolved thoughts, and lingering worries. The water, as it flows over us, resets our mental and emotional states, allowing us to release what we don't need and begin anew. In Buddhist thought, everything is connected: the earth, the air, the fire, the water. And we, as humans, are not separate from these elements. We are made of the very same forces that shape the world around us. Water, then, is a reminder of our interconnectedness with nature and with life itself. When we allow ourselves to be immersed in water, we not only clean our bodies but allow the energy that water carries to reset our inner world. Think of it as a cleansing of your energetic field. We are constantly absorbing energy from our surroundings, our environment, our interactions, and the thoughts we entertain. This energy, while essential for living, can sometimes become stagnant or unbalanced. When we feel tired, worn out, or emotionally drained, it's often because we've absorbed too much and haven't allowed it to flow freely. Water's flow acts as a natural reset button, gently washing away the energy that no longer serves us. There's an old practice in Buddhism known as shashin, or the beginner's mind. It is the practice of approaching every moment with openness, eagerness, and lack of preconceptions. When we take a moment to truly allow water to wash over us, we are invited into a beginner's mind with every breath, with every droplet. We are reminded that we don't need to hold on to what's past. The water has no judgment. It simply flows, cleansing as it goes. And so, we too can learn to let go, to release, to flow with life. Now you might be wondering, how can I apply this practice of releasing with water into my daily life, especially in the context of preparing for sleep? The answer lies in the simple ritual of taking a mindful shower or bath before bed. But rather than seeing it as just a mechanical action, we can approach it as a sacred moment, a time to honor the body and soul. Start by making your evening shower a ritual of release. As you step into the water, consciously let go of the stresses of the day. Imagine each droplet as a small wave of energy, carrying away the tension and fatigue. As you wash, picture yourself letting go of any lingering anger, frustration, or sadness. If you had an argument or a difficult moment at work, visualize it being carried away by the water. If there are worries about tomorrow or regrets about today, allow them to dissolve into the water's flow. One of my favorite practices, which I learned during my own Buddhist retreat, is to visualize the water as a cleansing stream of light. I imagine that with every breath, I am inhaling peace, and with every exhale, I am releasing the remnants of negative thoughts. This simple act brings clarity to the mind and allows the body to relax, ready for the peaceful rest that follows. Water is not just a physical cleansing force, but also a symbol of spiritual renewal. Just as the river flows without judgment, without attachment, we too can learn to flow with life, unburdened by the weight of our past mistakes or worries. When we allow ourselves to be cleansed by water, we are reminded that, just like the river, we can keep moving forward, shedding the weight of our past with every step. In Buddhist teachings, the path of enlightenment is often described as a river, constantly flowing, constantly changing, and always moving forward. We are not meant to remain stagnant in the past, clinging to what we can't change. Water teaches us that change is not to be feared but embraced. By allowing ourselves to release the past, we create space for something new to emerge: peace, clarity, and connection to the present moment. In the end, water teaches us that purification is not about escaping life's challenges, but embracing them with an open heart, allowing them to flow through us without becoming attached. As you step into the water tonight, remember, with every breath, with every droplet, you are not just cleansing your body. You are freeing your spirit to rest in peace, unburdened by the weight of yesterday. Habit 4. Lighting the lamp, remembering who we are. In the stillness of the evening, as the world quiets down and the demands of the day fade into the background, there exists a simple yet profound practice that has been passed down through centuries in Buddhist and yogic traditions: lighting a small oil lamp before bed. But this act is much more than just illuminating the room. It is a practice of remembrance. It is an invitation to reconnect with the source of light within, a light that is eternal, steady, and undisturbed by the noise and distractions of the external world. For those of us who have lived many years, this act of lighting a lamp becomes especially meaningful. It serves as a gentle reminder that we are not defined by our bodies, our minds, or the stresses of the day, but by something far greater: the light of our own wisdom and spirit. In Buddhism, light is a powerful symbol of enlightenment, clarity, and spiritual awakening. The Buddha himself is often depicted as radiating light, symbolizing the wisdom that dispels the darkness of ignorance. When we light a lamp before sleep, we are not simply bringing light into a dark room. We are, in essence, bringing light into our own consciousness, dispelling the darkness of doubt, confusion, and restlessness that often cloud our minds, especially as we grow older. This small flame, flickering gently in the quiet of the night, is a sacred offering, a prayer without words. It is a reminder to ourselves that even in the darkest moments there is always light. No matter what challenges we have faced during the day, no matter how heavy the burdens we carry, this light symbolizes the truth that we are always connected to something greater, something that transcends the fleeting troubles of daily life. We are not lost. We are light. For many of us, especially as we reach the later years of life, the days often feel heavy. The body grows slower, and the mind, filled with memories and experiences, may feel cluttered. But in lighting a lamp, we engage in a practice of stillness and simplicity. The flicker of the flame, however small, holds profound power. It calls us to pause, to breathe, and to reconnect with the truth of who we are beyond our physical forms and mental patterns. We are beings of light, and lighting a lamp before bed helps us remember that fact. The act itself may seem small, just a flame in a dark room, but it carries a deep spiritual weight. In Buddhist monasteries, lighting an oil lamp is not a trivial act. It is seen as an offering to the divine, a gesture that purifies the space and prepares the environment for meditation, reflection, and rest. The gentle flame serves to dissolve negative energy, calm the mind, and create an atmosphere of peace and tranquility. Just as the light from the lamp dispels the darkness in the room, so too does it help dispel the mental and emotional clutter that often accompanies us as we lie down for sleep. I recall a moment from a retreat I attended many years ago. After a day of deep meditation and reflection, we gathered in the evening to light lamps throughout the meditation hall. As I lit my small oil lamp, I felt a profound sense of stillness settle over me. It was as if the flickering flame called me to let go of all the mental noise, all the worries, and simply be present in the moment. In that moment, I felt the gentle warmth of the light, not only in the room but within myself. It was a reminder that the clarity we seek in our lives is always available within us. We simply need to reconnect with it. Lighting a lamp before bed can be seen as a silent prayer, an offering to ourselves, to the divine, and to the universe. It is a prayer for peace, for clarity, and for the courage to face the uncertainty of the night with calmness and grace. As the flame flickers in the dark, we are invited to reflect on our inner light, the wisdom that is always present, even when we may feel overwhelmed by the weight of life's challenges. This ritual doesn't need to be elaborate. It doesn't require grand gestures or complex rituals. A simple, intentional lighting of the lamp, paired with a moment of reflection, is enough. It's about recognizing the sacredness in simplicity, in the act of pausing before sleep to honor our connection to the light within. The light is always there, even when we feel lost, tired, or unsure. It is a part of us, just as it is a part of the universe. In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, this small act of lighting a lamp can be a powerful anchor, a symbol of stability and calm. It is an invitation to step away from the noise of the day and rest in the peace that resides deep within us. We are reminded that no matter how difficult the day has been, we have the power to center ourselves and return to a place of clarity, even as we prepare to sleep. In Buddhist tradition, the flame of a lamp is not just a symbol of light. It is also a tool for purification. When we light a lamp, we are not only illuminating the physical space around us but also purifying our internal space, our minds and hearts. The flickering light represents the process of removing the shadows of the mind, the doubts, fears, and distractions that cloud our judgment and peace of mind. I've seen this practice take root in my own life. At first, lighting a lamp felt like a simple ritual, a fleeting moment of peace before sleep. But over time, I began to realize the profound impact it had. On nights when I felt troubled or restless, lighting the lamp became a moment of sacred connection. It grounded me, reminding me that I was more than my worries, more than my anxieties. I would sit quietly beside the lamp, allowing the light to fill the room and my heart, bringing me into a state of deep, quiet peace. I found that my thoughts would naturally slow, my breath would deepen, and my spirit would calm. The simple act of lighting the lamp was like a gentle invitation to let go of everything I didn't need to carry. The Buddhist monks, in their deep wisdom, understand this. They don't light a lamp for illumination alone. The light is there to purify the space, to dissolve any mental or emotional restlessness. In the same way, when we light our lamps at night, we too can use this small flame to purify the space within us. The flame acts as a gentle guide, leading us back to the stillness, the clarity, and the wisdom that reside deep within our hearts. As you prepare to sleep tonight, consider lighting a small lamp beside your bed. Take a moment to sit quietly and reflect on the day. Allow the soft light to fill the room and your heart. As you gaze at the flickering flame, let it serve as a reminder that you are light, more than your thoughts, your physical body, and the challenges you face. You are connected to something far greater. Let the light purify the space around you, and let it purify the space within you. The act of lighting a lamp before bed becomes a gentle offering of peace to yourself, to the divine, and to the world. It invites you to embrace the present moment, to let go of the burdens of the day, and to rest in the truth that, even in the darkest moments, there is always light. This simple practice, though small, has the power to shift your mindset, your energy, and your peace of mind, guiding you into a night of restful sleep and spiritual renewal. Habit 5. The gentle mantra, I am not the body, I am not the mind. As the night approaches and we prepare ourselves for sleep, we often bring with us the weight of the day, the aches in our bodies, the worries in our minds, and the emotions that have accumulated throughout the hours. These burdens, though invisible, can make it difficult to rest fully. But what if, before we close our eyes, we could release all of this weight, both physical and mental, by simply reminding ourselves of a core truth that Buddhism teaches us? We are not the body, and we are not the mind. This practice, as simple as it may seem, is a gentle mantra, a soft yet profound reminder to loosen our attachment to the body's pain, the mind's restlessness, and the emotions that no longer serve us. By repeating these words quietly to ourselves, I am not the body, I am not the mind, we create space for deep relaxation and spiritual clarity. This is particularly meaningful for those of us who have lived many years. As we age, our bodies may carry chronic pain, stiffness, or fatigue. Our minds may be filled with memories, experiences, and accumulated wisdom, but none of these things define us. We are not the body, nor are we the mind. These are temporary vessels and tools we use during our journey, but they are not the essence of who we truly are. In Buddhist philosophy, the body is often compared to a cloud, and the mind is likened to the vast, open sky. The cloud is ever-changing, passing through different shapes and forms, sometimes dark and heavy, other times light and clear. The sky, however, remains constant. It is vast, boundless, and undisturbed by the clouds. In the same way, the body changes, ages, and experiences pain or pleasure, but the true self, the essence of who we are, remains like the sky, vast and unchanging. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. When we attach ourselves too strongly to the physical body and the constantly shifting mind, we create barriers to true peace and understanding. We become trapped in the illusion that we are our thoughts, our pain, our emotions, or our aging bodies. But when we remember that we are the witness, the observer of all these experiences, then we free ourselves from their grip. For instance, a simple practice before sleep can remind us that we are not these temporary states. As we lie down, we might say to ourselves, "I am not the body. I am not the mind." This mantra is not meant to dismiss our pain or our thoughts. It's not about denying the reality of our human experience. Rather, it is an invitation to step back and acknowledge that we are the awareness beneath it all, the consciousness that observes without judgment. I remember a story from a retreat I attended, where an elderly woman shared how she had used this mantra during her battle with chronic pain. She had suffered for years from debilitating back issues, and sleep had become a distant luxury. Every night, she would lie in bed, feeling the weight of her pain, the tightness in her muscles, and the constant buzzing of thoughts in her mind. One evening, a teacher in the retreat taught her the mantra, "I am not the body, I am not the mind." At first, she was skeptical. How could a simple phrase make any difference when her pain was so real, so present? But she decided to try. As she lay in bed that night, she repeated the mantra gently to herself. "I am not the body. I am not the mind." Slowly, she began to feel a shift. The pain in her back didn't disappear, but her attachment to it lessened. She stopped identifying with the ache, stopped seeing herself as just her body and its limitations. Instead, she began to connect with the stillness beneath the pain. She realized she was not just the body that felt hurt. She was the awareness that could observe and acknowledge the pain without being consumed by it. Over time, this practice allowed her to let go of the emotional and mental grip the pain had on her. She learned to sleep more peacefully, not because the pain was gone, but because she had reconnected with the awareness that transcended it. She had stepped into the sky of her being, where the clouds of pain and discomfort could come and go, but where she could remain undisturbed. As we age, our bodies may begin to slow down, and our minds may carry the weight of years of experience. Our joints may ache, our muscles may stiffen, and our thoughts may feel clouded with the passage of time. The mantra, "I am not the body, I am not the mind," can be an especially powerful practice for older adults, offering us a way to transcend the physical and mental limitations that come with aging. We are not bound to the limitations of the body. Our true essence is timeless, unbound by age or illness. When we remember this, we free ourselves from the trap of identifying with our physical state. The body is a temporary vessel, one that will eventually return to the earth. But the soul, the awareness, the essence of who we are, is eternal. Let's consider an elderly man who had lived a full life, raising children, building a career, and caring for his family. As he grew older, he began to struggle with memory loss and confusion. His mind, once sharp and quick, seemed to slip away from him. But every night before bed, he would repeat the mantra, "I am not the body, I am not the mind." Over time, he came to understand that his essence was not tied to his fading memory or his physical body. Even as his mind grew less sharp, he found peace in the truth that he was not defined by his thoughts. He was the observer of his thoughts, the consciousness that remained intact, no matter how much the mind or body changed. In Buddhism, one of the most profound teachings is the release of attachment to the body, the mind, and especially to our identity. Identity, in the Buddhist view, is a collection of stories and labels we create for ourselves. We identify as our name, our role in life, our achievements, or our failures. But these are all transient. The body will age, the mind will shift, and the roles we play in life will evolve. But the true self, the one who observes all of this, is unchanging, timeless, and boundless. The practice of letting go of attachment to the body and mind through the mantra helps us transcend the false sense of identity that keeps us bound to the transient world. As we approach sleep each night, we can use this mantra as a tool to release the stories we've clung to. I am not the body. I am not the mind. With each repetition, we loosen the grip of the ego and the attachments that cause suffering. I have witnessed this practice transform people's lives, particularly as they enter the later stages of life. When we remember that we are not the sum of our thoughts or physical limitations, we find a deeper peace. We become more aligned with the truth of who we are, a boundless, timeless presence. And this peace can extend beyond sleep. It becomes a way of living, one that is no longer tied to the transient world of the body and mind, but to the eternal peace of our true essence. As we lie down each night, let the mantra, I am not the body, I am not the mind, be our guide. Let it remind us that we are not the aches, the worries, or the limitations we experience in this body. We are the awareness that observes these things. By releasing our attachment to these identities, we open the door to true rest, true peace, and spiritual freedom. And with this peace, we awaken each day not as mere bodies or minds, but as the pure light of consciousness, unburdened by the stories of yesterday, ready to embrace the new day with clarity, presence, and grace. As we come to the end of this journey, exploring how we can transform our approach to sleep, let's take a moment to reflect. Every step we've discussed, the act of letting go, practicing gratitude, and embracing the silence of the night, is part of a sacred ritual. Sleep is not simply the conclusion of a long day. It is a profound return to the center of our being, a return to the peace and stillness that we often lose amidst the noise of our waking lives. It is more than rest. It is a chance to heal, renew, and restore ourselves, both physically and spiritually. So often we view sleep as a passive escape, a necessary downtime for the body to recover. But what if we saw it differently? What if we approached sleep as a sacred opportunity, a space where our body, mind, and spirit are allowed to reconnect, rejuvenate, and begin anew? When we infuse our nightly routine with intention and mindfulness, sleep becomes a powerful act of renewal, a spiritual practice that can profoundly shape our days to come. Through the practices we've explored, whether it's the release of mental clutter, the expression of gratitude, or the ritual of silence, we don't just improve our sleep, we improve our lives. When we approach sleep with reverence and mindfulness, we wake up not only rested but with a renewed sense of clarity and purpose. We begin to see that sleep is not an isolated event, but a continuous cycle of growth and rejuvenation. This is the profound gift that sleep offers when we honor it in the right way, a chance to reconnect with our truest selves, to embrace the stillness, and to bring a fresh perspective to the day ahead. Each night is a quiet invitation to reset, to release what no longer serves us, and to step into a state of peace that resonates into our waking hours. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, take a moment to remember these teachings. Begin with mindful breathing, focusing on your breath as it flows gently in and out. Reflect on the blessings of the day, no matter how small, and allow gratitude to fill your heart. Embrace the silence, not as an absence, but as a presence that invites you to reconnect with your deepest self. And finally, let go of the thoughts and identities that no longer serve you. Remember, you are not your body. You are not your mind. You are the awareness, the witness. By weaving these practices into your nightly routine, you invite a sense of peace, purpose, and clarity into your life. Night after night, sleep becomes not the end of your day, but the beginning of a new chapter, a new beginning for healing, transformation, and spiritual renewal. So, as you lie down to rest tonight, know this: sleep is not just a break. It is a sacred act, a time to renew your body, calm your mind, and restore your spirit. When you approach it with mindfulness, sleep becomes a doorway to awakening, a tool for spiritual growth, and a reminder that you are always connected to the light within you. This video is filled with powerful, transformative tools to change the way you experience rest and rejuvenation. If you found this exploration helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share your thoughts below. What practices have you found most helpful in transforming your sleep? Let's continue this journey of renewal and spiritual growth together. Your peaceful, transformative sleep is just one practice away. Take it with you tonight.